The wise woman by the old oak tree. Once upon a time, in a little quiet village among green field expanses and country roads, lived an elderly lady called Grace. Her hair was as silver as snow in winter, and her hands were wrinkled from long toils, but she never lost her smile. The neighbors would say that Grace had a different kind of light in her eyes, such that everybody around her felt calm, hopeful, and safe. Grace had a small cottage at the outskirts of town, next to an enormous oak. She had been a widow for many years and never had children, but was never lonely. Every morning, she'd sit on her porch with a cup of hot tea, greeting anyone who'd pass by. She listened with her heart, and words of comfort always flowed from her lips when someone was in pain, to make ends meet. Some ran little farms, others fixed cars or worked at diners, while others peddled their wares along the weekend market. And life was not exactly easy. There were harsh winters and dry summers, bills that did not wait, but through it all, Grace never stopped smiling. One chilly afternoon, a young woman came to see her, with tears streaming down her face. "Miss Grace, I don't know what to do. My husband went to the city to seek employment some months ago, but I haven't heard from him. There's no money coming in, my kids are hungry, and I feel so lost." Grace reached out and took her hand in hers. "Sit with me for a moment, dear. Tell me, what are you thinking about most these days?" Emily sniffled. "I keep thinking about what could go wrong. What if he can't find work? What if he never comes back? What if things never get better?" Smiling softly, Grace replied, "My child, when you fill your mind with fear, it weighs heavily on your heart, but when you fill it with hope, the world around you begins to change." Emily shook her head. "But how can I think positive thoughts when everything feels like it's falling apart?" Grace chuckled and leaned forward. "Let me tell you a story. Years ago," Grace began, "there was a man who thought he had nothing left. He lost his job, his home, and his family. One day, sitting by a river, he cried out, 'Why me? Why does life treat me this way?' An old woman who happened to pass by paused and asked him, 'What do you see around you?' The man replied, 'Nothing but pain.' She smiled and said, 'Look again. You have the river that still flows, the sky that still shines, and breath in your lungs. You may have lost many things, but as long as you're alive, you have a chance to rebuild. Focus on what you still have, not what you lost. Gratitude is the first step to peace." And gradually, the man began to notice the beauty around him, the sound of the water, the warmth of the sun, the cool breeze. Nothing about his situation changed that day, but he changed, and that made all the difference. Grace looked at Emily and said, "You see, sweetheart, positive thinking doesn't erase your problems. It gives you the strength to face them. The moment you believe that better days are coming, you start walking toward them." Emily nodded slowly. "Do you think that can make a difference in my life?" Grace smiled. "I know it can. Each morning when you wake up, say to yourself, 'Today is a new day and I will do my best.' Say it until you believe it. Hope is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets." Emily left that day feeling lighter. She took Grace's advice to heart. Every morning, while viewing the rising sun, she'd affirm to herself, "Today will be a good day." She put in efforts at work, took care of her kids, and had faith that something good was in the pipeline. Weeks later, a letter came from the city. Her husband had found a steady job and was sending money home. Tears of joy welled up in Emily's eyes as she ran straight to Grace's house. "Miss Grace," she exclaimed, tears wetting her face as she smiled. "You were right. Things did get better." Smiling warmly, Grace said, "See, my dear? Life listens to the way we speak to it. The more you feed it with fear, the more fear it gives back. But when you speak with faith, you open the door for blessings to walk in." From that day forward, news of Grace's wisdom spread rapidly through the little town. As people had troubles in life, they came to talk with her from near and far. Her message was always simple but powerful. Think good thoughts. Speak with hope. Choose gratitude. And watch your life change. It was then that the little town grew brighter, and not because its problems went away, but because their hearts learned how to shine through them. Moral of the story: your thoughts shape your reality. Life is not about waiting for things to get easier. It is about learning to see light even in the storm. Positivity is not acting like everything is perfect. It's believing you have the strength to rise no matter what.